Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the semi-weekly talk. This week's topics are the road ahead and my thoughts, talking about the recent developments with Urzz, Mobile Gamer, some thoughts on my Grand Arena progress right now and Grand Arena in general, my gearing before signing up for this coming week's Grand Arena, and then some videos that I want to be doing, some that are going to be universally helpful, some that are going to have more of a niche audience, and I want to just talk about those before I start putting them out. So first up is the road ahead and the new game mode. We're not going to be reading through the post, but I just want to extract the key points that I think start revealing what this game mode is going to be. So here are the key points that I pulled out for this game mode. First up is they're calling this the first in a series of developments for this game mode, and the example they give is Grand Arena to Grand Arena Championships. I'm certainly hoping for a whole lot more than that. That's not really a series of developments in my mind, because really the difference between Grand Arena when it first came out and Grand Arena Championships was alterations to the reward structure and the competitive nature of the game mode. But the gameplay, there was nothing fundamentally different about it. It was essentially the same game mode, and I want to be seeing a little bit more than that when we see this new game mode and Galactic challenges evolve. Like, I would like to see it become augmented and maybe become deeper and richer, and not just maybe a longer version, or what they talk about at the end here with exhibition seasons. Like, I assume we're going to be playing through a short version at first that is eventually going to turn into a much longer version of this new game mode. Next up with these combat puzzles, what that is saying to me is Malik, or some of the better designed assault battles. That's what I'm liking to see. But what I'm worried about is this is a potential problem area, because Kombat Puzzles is great, but that all really depends on CG's effort and creativity, where it's something that could fall apart, where this could turn into a longer, more repetitive versions of rock, paper, scissors. It's something that could make the game mode great, or it could make the game mode a slog. So it's something to watch out for. It's one of the portions of this new game mode that I am looking out for, but hopefully it becomes one of the parts that we can really value in this new game mode. Combat modifiers is great to me. That sounds like the old territory war changes that unfortunately we don't see anymore in territory wars, but it was something that I found a lot of fun, a lot of the community found a lot of fun, but a portion of the Kraken universe did not like because of how it devalued some of their investment in the game. So I'm liking that we can see something like that come back into the game to add some variety. Now, the next point here, multiple accessible tiers, I think is great, particularly for this channel. One of the things that I like to do is figure out the lowish thresholds required for gear or roster to beat tiers. It's one of the things that I try to create value for the people who subscribe and enjoy this channel, and it's something that in this game mode that I like, that I'm going to be able to possibly extract value out of. The last 2 points, Feats and exhibition season, kind of come together. Feats I expect to be very similar to Grand Arena Championships, but what Feats really do in Grand Arena Championships is it kind of serves as a tiebreaker for the end of season rewards. So what that says to me is we are going to have this PvE game mode, but it is still going to have an end of season rewards that come out based on our overall performance, and there's going to be a slight competitive component there. And one last point I want to touch upon is our lifetime championship scores that we get in Grand Arena. This sounds like something that could either be on top of what we already get in Grand Arena or combined with what we get in Grand Arena. So quickly looking at that Grand Arena game mode, see right here in our leaderboards, you have your lifetime championship banners. This is something that I like. I wish we could see where we fell within the entire community, and it seems like there might be a possibility where these kind of lifetime championship banners can be augmented with this new game mode, or we get another version of it. But I would like to be able to see either on SWGOH.gg or within the game itself the ability to know where my banners end up compared to other players. I like those kinds of little competitive components within the game. It's something that makes me go after feats in Grand Arena. I know lots of players don't like it, but there's all sorts of different kinds of gamers out there. If you know that YouTube channel, Extra Credits, in their game development series, they break down all the different types of gamers. And there's plenty of gamers within Star Wars who do like going after feats, getting those titles. Like it's just bragging rights, and I like to get those kind of bragging rights. Last point I want to bring up is it sounds like that this new game mode could be similar to what we see in Marvel Strike Force with Blitz. I'm hoping that it's not too similar. Blitz was actually why I stopped playing Marvel Strike Force to begin with, even though I'm currently considering maybe giving the game another chance. But with all these different frills that CG seems to be adding here with the puzzles and the modifiers and the tiers and feats, maybe the issues that exist with Blitz being this very repetitive mode are going to be solved with what we see in the Galaxy of Heroes. So I quickly want to talk about the developments with Mobile Gamer and Urzz, both of them announcing that if they don't see changes within the game, they are going to be leaving. Urzz gave that 60-day notice. Mobile Gamer has kind of just become less interested, and he's waiting to see if there's something that is going to pull him back into being more engaged. I'm saddened to hear it. I mean, they are both major components to players who help build this community and definitely got me more engaged in the game itself, and I've learned a lot through watching their channels. I really hope that CG is paying attention to this. Like, I think it's easy to become dismissive, and it's just like, oh, it's two YouTube creators, but really they're canaries in the coal mine of how a lot of players are feeling. And if they got to their breaking point, two guys who said they were going to stick with this game to the end, I believe, that means a lot of other players are in that same position and feelings. For me, I play the game differently. I have been basically free to play the entire time. I've spent no more than $20 on this game, something that I'm probably going to talk about more about in the future. But I do think spending on this game changes what you expect to get from CG. I think because I haven't really spent on this game, for me, I'm not expecting too much from them. I just want to be able to manage my roster in the ways that I want to manage it, to see how I can optimize it and get the most out of this game, to kind of game the system that they've created. But when you start spending on the game, you get frustrated, and I think very understandably, you want something back for what you're putting in. And when you're not seeing that, you're going to get to breaking point. And there's a lot of players. And really, that is what is going to hurt the game more than anything, because that is what funds the game for everybody else. So I've kind of already touched upon this. I wanted to talk about my last Grand Arena, where I faced Galactic Legends Ray for the first time in Grand Arena. I came out on top in that scenario because of how I've optimized my roster. I've got videos about that in my method series and in my list series, showing how I have optimized my gearing and how I go for how I prep for my opponents. So in that last Grand Arena, I was able to come up on top, stay undefeated. I am currently in the top 15 globally. I am hoping to build on that, but Really what I want to draw attention to is the type of performance you can get by optimizing your roster, and that you can compete at the top ends of this game, at least in this particular game mode, without worrying about unlocking the Galactic Legends or Jedi Knight Luke or those other aspects, because your opponents are being matched up with against you on that relative level. So you can game this game in a way to optimize your performance by being very deliberate and very careful with how you do every aspect of this game. And that being said, we're going to jump into gearing for this next Grand Arena. I'm not going to do much. I'm still trying to rebuild my gear horde, which is taking a long time. I'm still very low on stun cuffs. Carbantes are taking me forever, and really that's what's needed more than anything else. I actually have a decent amount of stun guns, but the Carbantes are really starting to hold me back. Really, I think I was debating between Django and Nest, and I think it's going to be more valuable for me to get Django up to 12 and then onto Relics than doing that with Nest. I still think I can get a little bit of usability out of Nest with where she is at right now. Django, however, needs that damage boost a lot more. So, like, here's my Carbantes. We're at 373. I think I'm at 400. Yeah, I'm at basically 450 with stun guns. So we're gonna drop those. I mean, those two stun guns right there is why Django has been at gear 11 for so long, and I have a video about that in my list series that we'll have at the end of the video. And then here, this one I could have done, but it wasn't a priority at the time, but it's another Carbani, and then it's a stun cuff here, and the stun cuffs until after the territory war rewards. My stun cuffs were low, so we're going to slap this one on, go up to gear 12, and now see if there's any easy ones here. What was that? 143. I don't think I'm going to do it. Oh, we'll do that one. We've got that one fully crafted already. That was probably a Sith Raid reward. I'm not going to touch any of these for now. I want to think through how I want to plan out using these components and these gear pieces before we move on. But that is Django for now. He's definitely one of my relic priorities. Nest is up next for getting up to gear 12 and relics, and the rest of these guys are just going to have to hang out. I don't really want to spend the gear necessary to move these guys up to the next level. Cody, I just don't have enough cuffs where I feel like spending them, but between these cuffs and the furnaces he needs at the next level, I could take him up to gear 11 pretty quickly. That's the staging ground that I'm going to keep them at until I need to work on light side geos and getting Cody and Sergeant ready for that Kenobi mission. I'm going to hold off on Zetas for this week. I think I've got like 130 good amount, but I'm treating 120 like my new 0. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time, save up some more before I start dropping those. But I think it's a good practice in general to save them because, like, for instance, when Darth Vader was reworked, I was able to throw on the Zeta right away, be ready for this past Grand Arena, and be able to use and test out Vader. So that's why gear in general, save it. You don't have to use it right away. And by holding on to that gear and really thinking through when you want to use it, you can really optimize your performance. Inflating your top 80 GP is going to slow down your progression. It's not just about what kind of matchups you're getting. It's also those rewards you get from that event are going to help accelerate your performance in all areas of the game, and that's really how you want to efficiently approach this game. Last up, I want to talk about some videos that I want to be doing in the near future for completion. Like, one of the things that I want to be doing in this channel is creating resources for players to come to whenever they are ready in the game. So there's a lot of new players who started during the release of Rise of Skywalker, who are now getting their rosters more developed and are starting to reach some content in the game that I could provide, particularly the C-3PO event, some stuff with fleet arenas, that I know is not going to be particularly interesting or valuable to more veteran players, who I expect are probably the larger portion of my subscribers and audience. So I wanted to give those of you who've stuck around to the end of this video just a heads up that I do want to put out those videos, but on top of that, I'm going to be putting out some other list and methods and gearing videos that I've been wanting to do for a while, a little bit more frequently. I was waiting for the subscriber base to grow a little bit, but I think if I'm going to be putting out these niche videos for a very specific potential audience, I also want to be giving out some videos that are going to be universally valuable to anyone who watches the channel. So just a heads up on that. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who likes the videos, who watches them. Any feedback is always appreciated. I think I am now 4 months into this. I believe I started sometime in February. The channel has been doing well, particularly after the return of the gas event. And I have a lot of ideas that I'm going to be pushing out as the channel continues to grow. So stay safe out there, everyone, and be excellent to each other. This has been Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.